Hey guys, Johnny here from Optizen. In this video, I just want to go through a recent update of a site that uses the Optizen app. The user actually emailed me and wanted to jump on a call about some of the success he's seeing, particularly in the last couple of months after he made some small changes to his site using a feature of the Optizen app, and how that's impacted and almost doubled his traffic and also increased his revenue by making those small changes. So what I'll do, I'll go through and show you what he did, the impact it's had, and actually proof that those changes that were made via the feature of Optizen were the reason for this increase in traffic and also revenue. So we can see here in Ahrefs, here's the graph of traffic trending along nicely. It's been going okay and increasing a little bit. And then you can see here in July 2024, you can see that there's been a spike in traffic, and that's where that increase is started happening. And obviously, like I said, he mentioned his revenues also increased significantly as well. He also said that the trend is very similar in Google Search Console and also Google Analytics, so that actual data, rather than using a tool just like Ahrefs. And that's what I've got access here, so I can actually see that particular trend. So the feature, what's interesting, the feature that he used to make this impact was the very first feature that was released with Optizen a number of years ago, where it's very simply you add content below the product grid on a collection page. Obviously, we have many more features now within the app, but that's that foundation feature that is still very powerful and working well today. And we can use that same feature on tag pages as well, where we can actually create those tag pages with unique content and add that content below the product or below the product grid on a tag page also. So we can see here some of the increases in the pages themselves. So we've got core collections here, then we've actually got some tag pages. All these have increased really quite significantly. A nice new feature of Ahrefs is actually you can see the content changes, and we'll look at that at the end of the video, and just so we can just actually see the changes that were made to a particular page, and you can actually show that those changes were from the impact of the feature of Optizen. So let's just go over and have a look at his particular site. So it's a rave clothing outfit site. So here we have adult Halloween costumes. That's actually the core collection. The first thing he has done, and I think he did this before the actual changes were made, but this would have had an impact as well, is he's added these buttons here with links to the sub-collections of his core collection. So these links only go to the sub-collections of the core collection, and then if you go to each of the actual sub-collections, you'll see the links are the same. So they cluster these sub-collections together along with the core collection. And then if we look at another core collection, rave clothing outfits, we can see that these links are different, and these cluster sub-collections within the core collection. So you get that nice topical relevance with your collections and sub-collections. So that's the first change he made, and that's actually a theming change he made on this site. And then what he also did, if we scroll down to the bottom, and we use this page as an example. Actually, we'll use a skeleton page because we can go and look at that in Ahrefs. Very simply, he has the content here below the product grid at the bottom of the page. Some people argue it's better at the top of the page with a read more. That works well also, but obviously you can see here it's working with this particular setup. So what he did here, he already had some content below the product grid on all these collection pages and tag pages, but it wasn't much, so there's only a few sentences, I believe, but he's gone back and he's updated the content, improved the quality of the content, made sure he really hit the user intent, answering questions that his customers were actually asking. Some of these pages have frequently asked questions as well. We'll have a look at this one. So here's the rave clothing outfits. We can see that the FAQs have been added at the bottom with a carousel. Sorry, with an accordion, and he would have his FAQ schema in there as well. So the basic change he made was improving the quality of his content, added a little bit more content so they're richer, answering the questions that his users are asking, made sure that he has appropriate internal links within this content, and that's, he believes, where the impact has come from by doing this across the site. And I'll show you in a second in Ahrefs that that's actually what's happened. So he also mentioned on the call that he did use AI to help him with this process. He then edited the content himself, so to make sure that it really was the quality that was required. But he did use ChatGPT and also Surf SEO to help him with that process. And we use those two tools obviously a lot with the way we actually do this content as well. So that's essentially what he did. He's got some sections in here so not every single page is the same in terms of the layout. But a basic premise is just improving the quality of this content and meeting the user intent and answering the questions of his customers. So we'll go over now and we'll actually have a look in Ahrefs when we'll look at one particular tag page or sub-collection. So adult Halloween costumes / skeletons. So as I mentioned with the tag pages, we can add our unique content. If you haven't seen the app before, you can see here that it allows us to leverage the tag feature of Shopify and actually build unique pages with those tag features. So that's where we get the ability to actually cluster our sub-collections together with our core collection and create that real topical relevance. Okay, so going back to one particular page. So we can see here, this is skeleton adult Halloween costumes. And here is the change in the traffic. So it's the same trend of the overall site. And this feature here of Ahrefs, where we can see content changes. So you can see exactly where the changes took place and then the increase directly after it. So let's look at view changes here, and it should open up. Here we go. It's opening up the tab on the side, and we can see the date and then the new crawl of Ahrefs to see what changes have been made. So 26th of July, and then it saw the new change on 4th of August. And you can see if we pull down our tab here, we can see where those changes were made. Okay, so here's the content below the product grid on the 26th of July. And then we can see the changes that turn green here, the content below the product grid on the 4th of August. So you can see that's the major change that Ahrefs has actually picked up for content. And that correlates exactly with the change in traffic and impact on this site. So that shows us, we can't prove this absolutely, but it's a very strong correlation with making those changes and the impact it's had on his site. Then obviously he's done this through the majority of his collection and tag pages. So when you tie in together the ability to cluster core collections and tag pages together, so you get that parent-child relationship in a very strong context for the algorithm, then you create quality content on those particular pages, you can have this type of impact. And obviously, this has had a significant business impact on this business, and that's why I wanted to jump on a call and actually let me know. So that's what I wanted to go through to show that that's such a very simple feature, but a core feature of the Optizen app that was built in right from the start is still working really well, having an impact. And when you actually use it properly and build on that over time, it can have a significant impact. And this is after all the recent Google updates and changes. It's only working better and better. Okay, any questions? Let me know. If you haven't had a look at the app, make sure you jump in the App Store. There'll be a link in the description below. Start using it, and love to see how things are working with the app for you guys as well. Thanks. Talk to you later.